Hey guys, it's Brendan Logston here with the Valor podcast. I've got the owner of Valor here, Jeff Logston, my dad, and we're going to go over a very important topic with you today, and it is the 10 commandments of buying a classic car.
Yes.
So I'd like for you to kind of share some background, and then we'll dive into this thing.
Man, I've bought a lot of cars in my day, and I've made every mistake possible. And as a car restorer, I see mistakes every day. So what would be great is to give people a heads up on some of the things they could do to avoid those mistakes and have a really good experience. It's all about the experience. This is not a Wall Street investment you're making. This is an investment in happiness, fun, and it should be with your significant other as well involved. And I think that's critical to think about when you go through these 10 commandments. And they're ones that I've come up with. You could call them the learn the hard way commandments. Learn the hard way. So let's go for it.
Awesome. So coming up with number one, I guess I'll say it, buying on a whim. So can you expand on why this is a bad idea?
I think so. I would be a professional at this. Thou shalt not buy a classic car on a whim. You really should have one that not only you love, but your significant other, your spouse loves. And you should be very calculating about doing it. There are snakes in the grass that you could step right into. There are so many problems. You know, a car has 14,000 parts. A 1965 Mustang, 14,000 parts.
Wow.
How many are bad? How many are good? I don't trust that to a whim. I don't want to be buying this. If I'm on eBay after midnight on a Saturday, I could get myself into trouble.
I've seen you do that.
Don't do that, people. It never works out. I don't know why. But, don't buy it on a whim. Have a car that you know is for you. Have a car that you're collectively going after. And then get into the weeds and find the right one of those cars to fulfill your dreams with. But don't buy it impulsively, emotionally, on a whim. That's my first bit of advice.
It can be fun, but then it could hurt at the end.
Correct.
So
be careful at the auction.
Definitely think about that. Number two, thou shalt not buy a classic car without a pre-purchase inspection from a professional.
Yes. I also avoided this sometimes because I was too cheap to pay the $200 or $300 it takes to have a professional go look at the car. What a mistake. You talk about a minefield of problems. And it can be the best $300, $400 that you ever spent. We have some customers that fly you around and have you take long drives to go see the car. And it's a wise move because, you know, they can eliminate stuff that looks really good and glossy in photos. And it's really not the car for them. There's a ton of work to be done. And labor rates today to fix these cars are ridiculous. We all know that. So head yourself in a direction where you're having somebody step in and look at something if you don't have the training to do so. And they'll really help you. They're all over the country, and they're really good guys. And we do it, and you should do it. That's definitely a number two. It's high up on the list.
Just like being catfished online, you think you're dating somebody that you're not really. Their photos look better than in person. It's the same thing. You could see a lot of great photos on eBay, but you don't always see the underneath and all the work that may entail getting this back to life. You could also easily paint over rust, which is scary.
Yeah. I think I did not know what catfishing was until just now. But yeah, our customers get catfished. And it's the biggest part of our business is, you know, hey, Jeff, I bought this car. And I'm like, worst sentence I ever heard. The worst beginning of a sentence I ever heard. And it needs XYZ. And then, we get into the subassembly, and it needs A, B, C, D, E, F, G to Z, right? It needs everything. So it's sad because you love your customers. You respect them. But, you want to say, take it back. In fact, we had one of those where we did a post-purchase inspection on a 67 Chevelle. And Jason brought the car in, and I'm like, how long ago did you buy it? He's like, yesterday. Like, you have 3 days to send it back, get rid of this car. And I itemized $80,000 to $100,000 in work that I thought the car needed. After he paid a premium to buy it, then we put him in the right car.
Ouch.
He went and we found one together, went and pre-inspected it, and it was the right car for him. It needed some things, but it had great bones. So we went and found him one with great bones, with mostly everything he needed. And man, that has turned out to be a very trusting relationship as a result of going through that.
Well, that's a great point, and that's a good segue actually for the next one. Number 3, buy the right classic car for you, and I'd like you to expand on that.
Well, we could start with some fun parts. Like when a guy, I know and love is 400 pounds and rolls in and says, I bought a Cobra. Like, tell me it's a Shelby Mustang Cobra of 2023. No, it's a 65 Cobra. I mean, you'd have a hard time getting in and out of those things. And they're very uncomfortable. And you find out he didn't even test drive it. He took the seller's word for it. So buy the car that's right for you, for your body shape, for your age. Maybe you're over the stick shift, and you're ready to just have an automatic and take it on down the road. And so really assess that. Know yourself, know your driving habits, and understand what is the right car for you. And people don't think that through. The dream you had from 50 years ago might not be the dream you should have today. And also, the car for you is also, going back to the significant other, it's the car for you guys, right? Because it's no fun to go driving by yourself. It's a lot of fun when she's enjoying it with you like crazy, and she loves the car as well.
Absolutely. Number 4, buy a car you're not committed to.
Well, thou shalt not buy a car you're not committed to.
Of course.
The quick flips never seem to work out. There's always something you miss. I say really get committed to a car. Maybe that, for me, is a 65 Mustang, maybe a 67 or 8 fastback. And you really, really love it, and you get committed to it. You name it. You give it a name. You give it a role in your life. You're going to drive it to work a couple times a week. That's when they work out. But if you're not committed to the car, you are not very likely to go find a car, particularly sight unseen and without being inspected, have it meet or exceed your wanted desires for the car, and then your wish list gets hit by a professional restoration person, and pretty soon you're way upside down on it, and that's okay if you're super committed to the car. But if you're not, you'll get frustrated quick, and you'll want to sell that car and get rid of it. That's never a good thing, because it becomes a transactional, sort of a financial thing, and it's got to be an emotional, heartfelt thing, or it makes no sense, really.
I agree. Absolutely. Moving on to number 5. Thou shalt not buy thinking it's an easy fix and flip moneymaker.
Kind of goes on to behind the last one. It's, man, unless you're a high-end collector, I know some really high-end guys, they know their game. I mean, they've studied it, and don't underestimate how smart and educated smart buyers are. And they may be looking at a Superbird, or they're looking at a high value car that's underpriced, and that they know they can take that and turn that into gold. It's rare. I do know some. They're amazing at what they do, but they're committed to it. It's like a full-time job. All they do is study. They never get a car in their collection that's not as it was intended or as it was advertised, because they check it out. Mm-hmm. So you've really got to watch that. You're not going to just, hey, I got a good deal on this. Man, I've heard that a million times. You didn't get a good deal. You bought a $50,000 repair job is what you bought. And is it worth even $25,000 when you're done? So I don't like that. You never want people to think it's an easy fix and flip, because it's never easy. There's always problems. And I like to see people avoid that if at all possible. Ask me how I know,
Sore subject. We'll go to number 6. Thou shalt not buy a partial restoration thinking you got a deal. This kind of ties into number 5, but it is different.
It is a little bit different in that you've got to watch. There's a reason somebody decommitted from a project, and that reason will bite you. There's the next thing in front of them that they're aware of possibly or probably, and then they are not going to pass that along, and you're going to find that out the hard way. It's usually sub-assemblies that are in terrible condition. It's body rot and fabrication, and hand rebuilding a car is not the optimal way to do that. So anytime somebody gives up on a restoration, it's probably not a wise move to move in and take their place, because it's probably not going to work out well for you financially or emotionally.
Womp, womp, womp. So I'm going to go ahead and go to number 7, Dad.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not buy a classic without knowing what your scope of work is to make it yours.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of people that put the time in to have a punch list of things they want. I'm in South Texas. I want air conditioning. I want at least front disc brakes. I want TMI interior. I want some nice leather seats to be comfortable in. Gotta have an automatic because I don't want to shift, going through the hill country. Come up with that list of criteria and bounce that against the car you're looking for. And I don't see enough depth of that going on so that you can really buy the right car. Sometimes people will think, it's got a stick, but I can switch to an automatic. $5,000, right? Labor, materials, and all of it adds up. So stay in your lane with what you want as much as humanly possible. Budget properly for what it would cost to fill that void, and then you're going to be in a better position with that car in the end. When the final tally is tallied up, stick to your 4 or 5 key things that you need in that car. Buying a nice paint job is super wise, because I can paint there's a 77 Cadillac, and I could paint a 64 Corvette or a 63 split window. It costs about the same amount of money. So buy the right car for you, buy the right car for collectability, and before you go spending or budgeting those additional spends.
Good point. Number 8, thou shalt not buy a classic without an adequate budget for repairs or improvements.
Yeah, this is my take whatever number's in your head and multiply it by 2, 3, or 4 if you're smart. So if you think you can get this car and you're going to get it exactly where you want it, it's going to cost $5,000, budget 20. Because there's things you don't know. There's labor has gone up. Jay Leno said this the other day. It was really a great quote. He said, back in the day, parts were expensive and labor was cheap. He said, today it's all changed. Parts are cheap. There's a lot of aftermarket stuff out there, a lot of it crap, and over marketed, and you've got labor, which is super expensive. So take that number, and let me tell you, you just have to multiply by 3 or 4 before you really have the total high-end number. Don't be an optimist on this. Be a pessimist. Talk yourself out of it. Right? Try to talk yourself out of it. And if you still can't talk yourself out of it after you've added that number up, go get the car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to get to the pedals, if let's say we're going back to the transmission, you start to pull back the carpet, all of a sudden it's rusted through and you could see the earth. Right. And all of a sudden that job that you thought was a quick, this is just a transmission swap, it turns into more because you see it. And while we're there as a restoration shop, people typically want to get it fixed because you don't want to put carpet over holes of metal, and you want to drive a safe vehicle. So it's always more. So having that 2 to 3 times, I think, is a really smart thing to do.
Or 4.
It could be 4.
Because don't forget, your wife's going to want air conditioning. She's going to want a nice radio. There's going to be additional things you add on, not just stuff that you don't see that didn't get included in the scope. You think about a transmission swap. There's a great one. The whole pedal assembly has to change. Your master cylinder often has to change. You've got all kinds of downstream changes you have to make to switch to a stick shift car.
Drive shaft,
thank you. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. Oh, and this is leaking and that's leaking. I didn't realize it. So it just budget 3 or 4 times what you think it should cost, and then you're going to be in the ballpark of having a good number.
Well, that's a good expectation to set. Let's jump to number 9. Thou shalt not buy a classic without a relationship with a restoration professional.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time just talking to people, and it's really great if you can do it before they've bought a car, or they only have one car but they want to expand their collection. And if you have a relationship with them and you can be open and sharing with the information, you can help them manage the process, and they can ask you specific questions about things that that they want, and you can put numbers to that. At least you could bracket some numbers. You can never be in our business. It's not like you know exactly what it's going to cost. You never can. Anybody who tells you that, red flag. I cannot tell you exactly until you get into the project. You'll actually know what the customer's going to spend. But if you have a relationship with them, and you know somebody you can bring it to that you can trust, that's huge. And that should be the person doing your pre-purchase inspection. That's the person that should be helping you identify a good scope of the car you want, the major items that you have to have that match up, and then whatever's missing on the one he or she help you go find. Then you can do the gap analysis and come up with a scope of work and put that 2 or 3 times that number on that scope and actually know what you're going to spend. I mean, this is only if money's important to you, and it should be. It shouldn't be everything, but it is a thing.
And I think a lot of these trusted people that are doing restoration, they've been doing it for a long time. They have a big passion for it. We just had a gentleman come from out of state.
Yeah.
And he was looking, and he was an owner of a business, and he would have been somebody that I think we could have trusted. So it's important to have that relationship and just know that there are a lot of people that you can trust out there, but you need to have that conversation, ask their experience. You, for instance, and we talk to customers all the time, and we actually try to talk them out of some things, which is what we're doing right now today.
We're trying to talk you out of it. Don't do something crazy.
But let's go to number 10 and the final. Okay. Thou shalt not buy a classic without knowing the car's history and authenticity.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one. Everybody should be able to do this one with or without a professional helping you. Run that VIN number, run that Marty report for a Ford Mustang. Get those VIN numbers, get those years, makes, and models. Look at Hagerty. Look at what they might say that this thing's worth, depending on the condition 1 through 6. Maybe it's a condition 4. Don't lie to yourself on those things. Know the history, know the provenance of the car, know the authenticity of the car. Understand what it is you're buying from a serial number level, matching numbers level. That stuff anybody can do. It just takes a little bit of work, but at least you know what you're buying. And a non-numbers matching 67 Chevelle's worth about 10 grand less than a numbers matching, right? Know those numbers. They're easy to get. You can Google a lot of this. And if you've got a professional working with you, that part you can do and save the money. He's not going to be billing you hourly to do that. So, yeah, I think that's a super important thing. But these are really good things to know and consider before you go out and just buy a classic car without really taking the time to do your due diligence. Don't make it an emotional purchase. It is emotional, but it can also have some relatively good, meaty information on the front end so that you're not sideways with your buddy who helps you restore cars. We never want to get to that point, right?
Yeah, and this information comes from a lot of customers. How many customers have you helped restore cars, would you say?
We're well over 1,000. And we started off, we did a little collision work in the beginning, and we have a mechanical shop. We have, right now, I think, Brendan, we have 30 mechanical projects, and then 30 that go to our fabrication, paint, and body shop. So we're managing 60 projects with 20 techs, and we're going hard, blowing and going. But, I know every single customer. I know their car really well. I have built information on that car over years and years, and it's really done. It's done well. It's been a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people, and they're a little scared to come talk to me because I can usually talk them out of it. And they say, "Hey, let's go on a hunt together. Let's go look for the right car for you."
Yeah.
It's just not as fast. It's not as impulsive. It's not here today. But guess what? When you buy the right car for you, the right way, with all the data on the table, you're in a lot better position to not have made a mistake. So
that's good information. And the last thing I want to leave everybody with is in what cases are customers the most happy? They've already maybe gone through this and they follow the 10 commandments. What are some situations where you have the happiest customers?
Yeah, so these are pretty successful people that do this. They, your average car collector has done really well in life, and they like to win. They do not like to lose, and that's the nature of that beast. They're type A personality typically. They're business owners. They're people that know how to take risk and absorb risk and adapt and recover. They always want to adapt and recover and win. So, man, if I could encourage them to do anything, it's to buy the right car at the right price for them that meets their needs or is close to it, and then we do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they get exactly what they want when we're done, shaving off the rough edges. Then you've got a really happy customer. Those are the best experiences. And then we maintain it for them and do all kinds of things down the road. Maybe they're looking for their third car, then their fourth car, then their fifth car, and then it just becomes fun at that point because you can trust each other and you want that same outcome every time. And that's kind of the nature of car collecting and buying smart.
And that's what we want at the end of the day is to produce beautiful great running vehicles that are safe, and we want customers to be happy. And that's why we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. For the last 15 years, that's what we've been doing. And it's a multi-generational business if we do it right. And so we're thinking long-term about this business, and long-term requires long-term relationships. So we try to be open and transparent about the information and help people buy the right solution, and then be Johnny on the spot for them when they need our help. You know, first in, first out, get customers in, get them back home, get them happy with their cars. Don't let us sit in the parking lot forever. We've all experienced those nightmares. Nobody's immune to it, but it's our aim to not have that. And we're really getting better at process and stronger at hitting those deliverables within really reasonable times, managing parts acquisition and communicating weekly. You know, Brendan, if you work at Valor, bring a car to Valor. Brendan gives you a report every Monday that tells you what we did last week, how many hours it took. You can do the simple math. You know how deep you're into it. So for us, it's becoming more fun the more process-oriented we're getting, because we have happier customers. But it starts with them buying the right car. Please buy the right car. Don't buy a money pit. Everybody remembers that movie, The Money Pit.
Yeah.
Cars can be the same way, and we don't want that.
Well, guys, like and subscribe. Valor Podcast here, and let us know if you have questions in the comments. The last thing I'll leave you with is, if you're in the Hill Country area and you're about to buy a car, give us a call, and we would love to help you make that the right buy.
You got that number?
A number is 830-865-1200.
There you
Valor
go.
Restorations.
Thanks, guys.